Okay, I wanted to give the other machine a little bit of a break, so I'm switching sides here. Hopefully, you guys get what I'm trying to put down. I want to take this opportunity to talk about um, possibly what can happen with Founderlink. Founderlink.texasmovement.com is where it's hosted. It's an app that I uh, am trying to design that kind of has a Greenbook element to it. I want to be able to connect entrepreneurs, independent entrepreneurs. I knew several of them in the Dallas area over the over the 10 or so years that I was down there, and we all kind of had the same startup issues. Usually, it's a matter of a lack of access to capital, um, but that's not always the problem. Um, we have we have I've never had the liquidity to where I've had enough disposable income to really invest in Texas Movement the way I wanted to. What you're seeing is, exactly what it looks like. This is it's like a Groundhog's Day movie of that picture of Amazon.com in 1994 with the with the little thing, and it's like I'm constantly starting over, um, place after place, time after time. I've talked to you guys about my elementary school experience. I moved to from kindergarten to fourth grade. I was at one school. Then in fifth grade, I moved, and then I started sixth grade at a different school. Then in eighth grade, I moved, and then in ninth grade, I started high school, and then in senior year, I moved. So constantly restarting, and then I even tried to attend college while I was a senior in high school, and then realized that I did not have the skills artistically for architecture. And in my mind, I have certain creative ideas, but if I don't have somebody to help me with the technical execution, it's very difficult for me to get that point across. Which is why you haven't really seen Texas Movement scale anything until AI came around. And so once we were able to get a logo put together and kind of use AI to shape and craft that alpha icon the way I wanted it, you see now hero and the alpha icon are kind of synonymous, which is exactly what I wanted. So um, the goal was that you could just see the alpha icon and it would represent Hero by Texas Movement, and it's a pretty cool thing when you can communicate your vision to the audience. And now both Hero and Texas Movement have cultural weight. So when you go into Texas Movement Media, now that can carry on its own identity. It's like another child. And so I'm hoping that Founderlink has a similar type of story, that it can be what the Greenbook was in years past, trying to connect the different metroplexes with each other. Now, I've told you before, my background is Kerala American. So what that means is, India is shaped like a diamond. Well, it's really shaped like a diamond, right? And Kerala is like kind of right here, where the California-ish side of India. So on that southernmost tip of the diamond, on the western side, that's the state of Kerala. So a very tropical place. Like I said, lots of different sub ethnic groups. They're not, kind of not really tribes. They're not really a tribal people, but um, we're definitely cliquish. I wanted to um, see if we could encourage some of the second generation entrepreneurs that wanted to start businesses. A lot of us are forced into, you know, uh, technical, engineering, medicine, pharmacy, very similar to the Nigerian community. We have these rigid career paths that we're kind of smashed into, even if it's not our natural gift set. So after maybe 10, 15 years of doing that, we finally have the uh, what is it? Flexible capital, a disposable income. Do we have the disposable income to invest in perhaps a side hustle or something like that? So now you're starting to see some of the millennials, get more into business and things like that. And so, in order to help us connect, I wanted to start Texas Movement Greenbook. That's what I started initially as a Facebook group, and um, I think this was made through Base 44. I'm not sure, but these things allow you to kind of vibe code an app. So I wanted to build something kind of like that. Um, One of the frustrating parts about being Indian in this country is we all have a similar sad story about growing up here, being pulled in many different directions and having to decide what or who gives a fuck, we're going to be loyal to. And it's so sad watching your family die even while they're still alive. When we're, I don't know how the North Indians, I'm sorry, black people and white people, it's a very complicated thing. The people you see with the fancy weddings and the hotels and the taxis and stuff, that's not really our deal. You know what I mean? We do get married, and we do have weddings that kind of are very ornate and things like that. If that's what you're into, I've never been married. I don't care about that stuff. Shit makes me sad, man. The only peace of mind I have these days is knowing that I did everything in my power to avoid being that sad story. The only problem is you see it all around you. You see people getting married just to be free from their parents' abuse. And the only reason their parents abuse them is because they're coming from a foreign land that was colonized and just recently let go. Imagine seeing a woman get raped and she's in a lobby, and she was raped publicly in a lobby. And the man finishes and gets up and walks out of the building. And everybody saw the woman get raped. And the people in the lobby and the people that work in the building are all saying, get over it. Put your clothes back on, go back to work. They raped a country of 1.5 billion people. Drew arbitrary lines so Hindus and Muslims can go their separate ways. Infected our gene pool and created a caste system that made us hate our very selves. When most of us have all types of shades within our own family. And then we have to go because all the resources they took for their palaces and their museums, like Killmonger said, We are very familiar with Wakanda, and it still exists right now. And versions of it are here right now. But rape traumatizes you so that your basic vision no longer works. When you're so abused at home, you have to run to marriage as freedom. Can you imagine that? American marriage being freedom? And do our women care? No. For the past month, that bitch is talking about popping her pussy. Embarrassing us. What am I trying to connect? What founders am I trying to link? The only peace of mind I have is knowing that my celibacy is the strongest possible defense against my emasculation. By the grace of God, I'm literate and have enough oratory skill to explain how I feel. And by His supreme kindness, I finally have the kinesthetic intelligence and athletic ability to not be bothered by ridicule. Because now I'm finally in the 1%. And the NFL knows it. And the NBA knows it. Not the owners, not the fucking general managers, not the coaches. The Hall of Famers themselves. And not the ones that bought their way in either. Tom. Of course, I want to make you laugh and smile. But our people choose to be comedians out of fear, not out of joy. And I refuse to be Russell Peters for your entertainment. And I like Russell Peters a lot. He knew he had to have a balance. And at that the best he did the best he could with the resources he had. So I don't fault him whatsoever. But he knows what I'm saying. If you keep following that Aziz Ansari blueprint, you'll get fucked just like he did. You guys saw the movie Lockdown? Stacy from the Wood never recovered. Just like THC is only valuable if you have muscle density. A hunger strike is only valuable if you have the propensity for violence. Meekness is only a virtue if you can wield a sword. That's what Indians always conveniently forget. America does not need to know anything about you. You provide no value. So trying to get them to understand the difference between a Sikh and a Muslim is pointless. In America's eyes, even I have a turban right now. One of the most embarrassing moments of my life was watching my father at 60 plus years old go to a car dealership. After 30 years of working in American educational institutions as a PhD, and telling the car dealership manager he was just happy to be here in this country and was looking forward to a new car. It's a pathetic way to live your life while beating the shit out of your own children, demanding that they pay homage to mediocrity day after day. I will happily die so that that philosophy dies with me. I only wish I could take as many people possible with me as possible. But you know what's better than that? Destruction in the opposite direction, which is why I run the 100 and not the 400. I'm not Evan Jager, and I never want to be Evan Jager. I don't want to win by conditioning or mental toughness. I want to win because God showed up through my body. If any of you mayors have the balls to grow with Texas movement, I will ensure that Founderlink is one of the best apps for business growth that's ever existed. But you have to decide if you're in the house or in the field.